unpredictable fishing patterns emerge. The fish are literally swimming away from the frying pan and into, well, cooler waters, leaving economic turmoil in their wake. Now, let's look at the poles, our planet's massive ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica, and the glaciers dotted around the world are melting at an alarming rate. Think of them as giant ice cubes in the global drink. As they melt, that water has to go somewhere, and it flows directly into the ocean. This is the primary driver of global sea level rise. For decades, the rise was measured in millimeters per year, but that rate is accelerating. Satellite data shows a clear and dramatic increase. This isn't some distant, abstract problem. It's happening right now. Coastal communities around the world are already experiencing the effects. More frequent and intense flooding, saltwater intrusion into freshwater supplies, and accelerated erosion of coastlines. Major cities, from Miami to Jakarta, and small island nations in the Pacific are on the front lines, facing the existential threat of being submerged. The maps of our world are literally being redrawn by the rising seas. But it's not just the heat and the rising water levels. There's another, more insidious threat lurking beneath the surface. Ocean acidification, sometimes called the other carbon dioxide problem. It's the same CO2 that's warming our atmosphere is also being absorbed by the ocean. When CO2 dissolves in seawater, it undergoes a series of chemical reactions, increasing the water's acidity. In fact, our oceans are now about 30% more acidic than they were before the Industrial Revolution. This is a faster change in ocean chemistry than any known event in the last 50 million years. So, why does this matter? This increased acidity makes it harder for marine organisms like corals, clams, oysters, and tiny plankton to build their shells and skeletons, which are made of calcium carbonate. Imagine trying to build a house with dissolving bricks. The water is literally becoming corrosive to the building blocks of marine life. These shell-building organisms are at the base of the marine food web. Pteropods, for example, are tiny sea snails that are a crucial food source for everything from krill to salmon to whales. Scientists have observed their shells literally dissolving in the more acidic waters of today. When the bottom of the food chain is threatened, the entire structure is at risk of collapse. This isn't just a problem for the animals themselves. It threatens the entire ocean ecosystem and the billions of people who rely on it for food. The seafood on our plates, from salmon to shellfish, is directly linked to the health of these tiny, vulnerable creatures. Ocean acidification is a silent killer, slowly and invisibly undermining the very foundation of marine life. So, we have warmer waters, rising sea levels, and a more acidic ocean. This triple threat is a direct consequence of our carbon emissions, and it's creating a perfect storm for marine ecosystems. We are pushing the ocean to its breaking point. But this story does not have to end in disaster. The science is clear, the warnings are stark, but so are the solutions. The ocean has an incredible capacity for resilience, but it needs our help, and it needs it now. The single most important thing we can do is to dramatically reduce our carbon footprint. This means transitioning away from fossil fuels and embracing renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal power. It means making our homes, our transportation, and our industries more energy efficient. Every kilowatt of electricity saved, every car trip replaced by a bike ride, every choice we make to consume less and consume smarter contributes to the solution. Governments and corporations have the biggest role to play. We need strong policies that put a price on carbon, invest in green technology, and phase out subsidies for fossil fuels. We need to hold our leaders accountable for the commitments they've made under international agreements like the Paris Accord. But individual action is powerful too. It sends a signal to the market and to policymakers that we demand change. Beyond reducing our own emissions, we can support organizations that are working to protect and restore marine habitats. We can make sustainable seafood choices, using guides to avoid species that are overfished or caught using destructive methods. We can participate in local beach cleanups and advocate for the creation of marine protected areas, which are like national parks for the ocean, giving ecosystems a chance to recover and thrive. The fate of the ocean is in our hands. The vibrant, life-giving world we saw at the beginning is still within our reach. But the window of opportunity to save it is closing. We can't afford to be bystanders. This is a challenge for all of humanity, a test of our ability to act collectively for the common good. Let's choose a future with healthy oceans, a future with thriving coral reefs, abundant marine life, and stable coastlines. A future where our children and grandchildren can stand by the shore and feel that same sense of wonder and awe that we do, knowing that we did everything in our power to protect it. The time for talk is over. It's time for action is now. Let's get to work. Right. Thanks for watching. And if you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on how we can protect our beautiful planet.